What's up? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button. And while you're at it, go ahead and hit that like button. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into this holy mess. Man, Larry Reid, I am just so disgusted by him. And I honestly don't understand the people that follow him, subscribe to him, and allegedly give him money. The Bible talks about foolish women, but take this how you will, but I'm just going to speak how I feel it. I just say there's some dumb holes who would give him money. A man who is a liar, who lives in this web of deception, refuses to admit that he is gay, but talks about how he sucked the pee and another man has sucked his pee. And he's talked about all of these different experiences that he has had, but yet will not claim the label of being gay or even bisexual. Like, seriously. But I digress. I've been talking about him with the fact that he kept trying to allude to TD Jakes allegedly grooming his mentor's son, Bishop Bernard Jordan's son, who has the title of prophet, Manasseh Jordan. I don't believe he is a prophet, but he has that title that he has been given by people, by his daddy, and whoever decides to continue to call him that. But he kept trying to link TD Jakes to these things and was having the balls enough to do so. And I was just waiting on something to happen. So finally, something has happened. Now, TD Jakes is suing the man that Larry Reid had the nerve to have him come on his platform to talk about TD Jakes making advances, I will say, towards him. He never, from what I heard, so if I missed something, you let me know. He never said that TD Jakes did anything, like actually did anything to him, but he did make allegations that TD Jakes made, I will, like they used to call it back in the day, made a pass at him. And so he said he leaned in to kiss him. He didn't say he kissed him. And he said that he told him some things and also said that he called him on the phone and it sounded like he was in a bathtub. And I was like, "Well, how do you know he wasn't in the jacuzzi?" I'm just saying, I don't know. But either way, he never said that TD Jakes actually did anything to him. He alleged these advances that Bishop T.D. Jakes made towards him. And listen, I'm not here to say that those things did not happen because I do not know. I'm saying that he made allegations that these things happened. But let's just get into, I'm not going to get into the lawsuit. I will put a link to the lawsuit if you want to read it in the description box. I don't feel like reading all that right now, but I'm going to read an article about it. Bishop T.D. Jakes sues Homestead pastor, alleges extortion attempt. The founder of a Dallas megachurch is suing a former Homestead pastor convicted of sex, ASSAULT, for libel, accusing him of making false claims in an online podcast and attempting to extort him out of millions of dollars. Bishop T.D. Jakes, also renowned as a motivational speaker and author, filed the federal lawsuit on Monday against Duane Youngblood over comments he made on the Larry Reid Live podcast last month, accusing Jakes of sexual abuse. The complaint alleges that Youngblood is attempting to rewrite history, to deflect blame from his own criminal conduct, and at the same time smear Jakes in a blatant and explicit attempt to extort him for millions of dollars. Jakes, 67, founded the Potter's House, a non denominational church with more than 30,000 members in 96. It has locations in Fort Worth and Frisco, Texas, as well as Denver. Jakes served as a spiritual guide for the past three presidents, the complaint said, and led the sermon the morning of former President Barack Obama's 2009 inauguration. Youngblood 57 founded Higher Call World Outreach Ministries, Inc., and in 2003 purchased the former SS Peter and Paul Church building on Mifflin Street in Homestead. Youngblood was accused of sexually assaulting, I'm just saying the word, a 15-year-old boy in 2002 while counseling him. He pleaded guilty in 2006 to sexual assault and was ordered to serve 4.5 to 9 years in prison. Then in 2014, Youngblood pleaded guilty to corruption of minors. He must register as an SEX offender for the rest of his life. According to the lawsuit, on October 28th, Youngblood spoke in an interview for more than 2 hours with Larry Reid Live in an online video podcast that has more than 150,000 subscribers on YouTube. The title of the episode was The Abused Become the Abuser. The lawsuit alleges that in the episode, Youngblood lied about the circumstances of his criminal convictions and then said that he became an abuser at the hands of pastors and religious figures he encountered in his youth. Youngblood claimed in the interview, which the lawsuit said has gone viral, that Jakes tried to groom and sexually abuse him nearly 40 years ago when Jakes was in Pittsburgh to support a local church, the complaint said. Youngblood alleged that Jakes wrapped his arms around him and tried to kiss him at the home of an elder in the church, and then called him the next morning and told him he wanted to sleep with him. During the podcast interview, the lawsuit said Youngblood called the interaction so extremely damaging Youngblood could not immediately be reached for comment. Jake said in his lawsuit that Youngblood's claims are false. The complaint alleges that Youngblood went on the podcast again on November 3rd and repeated the same story, but this time accused Jakes of attempted sexual assault. Youngblood's intent and motive for making these allegations would be made absolutely clear with his exorbitant financial demands weeks later, the complaint said. On November 15th, a lawyer who said he represented Youngblood sent Jakes a demand letter for $6 million to resolve this matter quickly and privately, which is absurd because what first of all, just to stop it for a moment, or to use Dame Dash's word, pause. They made this attempt to get money from him after the interview came out. How was that trying to make it a matter that would resolve privately? That's insane. All right, let's continue. Otherwise, it said Youngblood would sue Jakes for sexual assault and harassment, the lawsuit said. The motivation of the demand was clear: pay millions of dollars, otherwise, the podcast strategy and other similar tactics of attempting to publicly harass and shame Bishop Jakes would continue, the lawsuit said. The complaint alleges that Youngblood's comments have tarnished Jake's reputation and jeopardized his philanthropic work. They also allege they've taken a physical toll, noting that on Sunday, Jake suffered a medical crisis on stage during church services. Now, I'm going to pause it for a moment. While I'm no medical expert, and I definitely was not there, multiple things can be true at the same time. Now, while the Youngblood story could have some elements of fact in there, it could also be that everything is not true. While it also could be that he attempted to extort Bishop Jakes and it caused a physical toll, it could also be that he did have an actual episode, a health crisis, because some people are saying they don't believe that that health crisis was real. I'm not going to say that it was fake, but there are coincidences and things can actually happen at times when it just seems like, "Ah, I don't believe that. I don't believe that's really real." I just do believe that the stress has taken a toll on him and he did try to push through. I definitely don't believe that it was fake, but until someone comes out to confirm that that episode was not real, I'm just going to say that it was real. I'm not going to say that somebody is faking a health crisis, especially someone of his age and his health, because I don't believe that TD Jakes is the healthiest person. I talked about that in my previous podcast where I said if you look at him, tell even just by looking at his belly, that is the area where it's carrying a lot of cortisol. Cortisol is caused by stress. Stress brings on dis-ease, which can cause other health issues. And he may have high blood pressure as well. So I'm not going to say that that's fake, but I could understand why some people may feel like it's not real. But trust and believe this lawsuit, it did not get concocted on a Monday morning and filed Monday afternoon. This all was occurring when they got the demand back on, what was it, November 15th. So they didn't file the lawsuit on Monday. They didn't just come to him on Monday and then TD Jakes faked a health crisis on Sunday to help his claims, because the health issue and the lawsuit being filed, they really don't have anything to do with each other. Now, he could say that it caused stress on him, but ultimately, him having this health crisis on stage, it he doesn't need that. I'll just put it like that. He does not need a health crisis to help the lawsuit to be found in his favor, because what they did do actually was extortion, and extortion actually is a criminal act. It's not just a civil act. So they're doing him a favor by suing him in civil court, but it also doesn't mean that there may not be some criminal actions that may follow. We don't know. We shall see. So let's continue. The complaint includes claims for libel and civil conspiracy. Jakes had what his church described as a slight health incident during a sermon Sunday, according to USA Today. He was seen to pause his sermon and shake on stage on footage posted to social media. Now, listen, again, like I said before, I'm not here rooting for TD Jakes to, for whatever reasons. He has had a number of different allegations out there linking him to the Diddy stuff, and that stuff has been going. Here we are about to go into the month of December. And that's been going on since last year when the Cassie lawsuit came out that exposed Diddy for who he really was. So, with all of those things being said, I do believe that this has this health crisis has built up over some time because of all of the stress, in light of him trying to be as strong as he possibly could in light of everything going on and in the face of all of these people. And there have been a lot of content creators that have been creating a lot of content that has not been helpful for his character and his brand, if you will. TD Jakes, this attempt to get $6 million from him, and stupidly, after this was released, well, hey, now that I'm thinking back on it, maybe no, because I believe they said that the interview was released at the end of October, and then the second one was on November 3rd. So no, they did stupidly try to get the money from him after they put this out. I'm not saying that TD Jakes would not have said, up the street with you, and I'm not giving you a dime, if they didn't release the podcast before the demand for $6 million was made. I definitely do believe that this was an extortion attempt. And I'm not here for it, especially with the likes of Larry Reid. Now, in the lawsuit, it names co-conspirators. I believe there's like 10 or 11 co-conspirators, and I do believe that Larry Reid is co-conspirator number 1. That's my belief. That's my personal opinion, and I'm standing on that because the lawsuit doesn't name him, but it does state that person's platform that he was on to release this alleged false information. So, could Larry Reid be named in a lawsuit later as an actual defendant and not just a co-conspirator? I believe he could, and I will even venture to say I believe he should. I definitely believe he should because, like I have been saying for a while now, Larry Reid has been on TD Jakes ASS for some time now, trying to, I believe, get his attention and possibly get him to shut up by handing him over a paycheck. And I have heard where Larry Reid has said that someone on TD Jake's team reached out to him to offer him $500,000 to shut it down. And I don't believe that that happened. I said I don't believe that that happened, but Larry Reid even said, I need $500,000. I'm actually in the hole for about 500,000 right now because of the memorial that I put on for Pastor Carlton or Bishop, whatever his title was, Carlton Pearson. First of all, who asked you to do that? If you were doing something out of the kindness of your heart, allegedly, out of the kindness of your heart, if that's something that you chose to do, why are you telling people how much you pay for it? And I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. But I'm just saying what he said. And if you don't know, at one point in time, Bishop Carlton Pearson and Bishop T.D. Jakes had a connection. So to me, I also believe that Larry Reid was trying to sprinkle some blame in there and some guilt on TD Jakes to make him feel obligated because this man put you on, and if it wasn't for him, you wouldn't be where you are right now. I believe that's just my personal opinion. But Larry Reid, I am disgusted by him. I'm going to do some more commentary because now that this stuff is coming back to the light, we got to shed more light on it because and on him because for this man who looks like a California raisin right now to have the nerve to be out here trying to expose anybody when people have come out to expose him and then he's going on these tours across social media doing interviews doing patreons and all of this other stuff to try to debunk and shut people down. My personal opinion about it is he has a whole lot of nerve to be talking about anybody when it comes to stuff about allegations of sexual assault and all of that other stuff when the allegations have been put out there about him that I definitely do believe, whether the person was under the age of consent or not, I still and they were men. It was never about him and any females, right? But he's not gay, right? Whatever. He has been in a position where he was supposed to be the leader and you are exposing yourself, having these young men expose themselves, and you're doing things with them sexually, it's disgusting. And you're supposed to be a man of God. This is supposed to be like your church, and this person is a part of your church, and you're doing this and that. No, absolutely not. It's just disgusting. So, with all of those things being said, I am going to get more into this on another episode. I'm going to share some more things with you guys. But do you believe that Larry Reid is co-conspirator number one? And do you believe that he eventually will be getting sued by Bishop T.D. Jakes for his attempts as well? I believe he should. That's my personal opinion. But you guys can let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for being here, liking, and subscribing. Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.